Hello, Leo. Thank you for tuning into your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquis, illustrated by Scott Murphy. For the support of Oracle cards, the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. Already shuffled. Let's see what we got. Really? There's just a bunch of them right there. That's kind of weird. They're like, nope, stop. Okay, so as we come into, I think there's clusters of cards. There's like 3 clusters I think we're going to deal with here. So let's deal with what you're coming into here. And you got 3 major arcana. You have the High Priestess here. You've got the Hermit there. Right on top of it, you have the Devil card. So I'm getting like, I'm actually getting with the Hermit especially. Like, I feel like this is like a silent grudge match. Is that right? Sorta. What are we talking about here? I'm not getting like people are over, like, I don't feel like there's an argument really. I just feel like people are not nice to each other. It might be more about almost like the looks people are giving each other. I feel like there's like people are stressed and just kind of being a little rough with each other. I'm getting there's a lot not being said. People are just kind of like, I feel like people are just like saying, well, that's what that person's like. But I don't feel like it's a positive thing. I feel like they're just kind of like, oh, that's how they are. That's just, that's how they are. And I get like the High Priestess is trying to balance things out in this situation. But the lack of communication with the animosity is making that, like, you'll notice she's kind of backed behind there, and you're seeing the dark pillar. There's a dark pillar and there's a light pillar on the other side. I feel like the situation is like, it's misbalanced because there's not honest communication between sides about who's not getting along. And I feel like people are just like, oh, that's how that person is. They're just kind of accepting like that's just how it is. I do feel like there's stress at play here. People aren't getting along and people are misjudging people. And there just seems to be a lot of just like silent animosity. This is the second time the word silence are coming in for the readings I'm doing. Well, Aries had some silent forgiveness, but I'm not getting that here. I'm getting like some silent animosity, which is kind of interesting. I just feel like the situation's getting out of balance and there's more negativity than warranted, but it's due to lack of conversation. But I feel like, especially on your side, I feel like you're aggravated and you know yourself well enough to know that it's not going to come out in a kid glove type of way. It's going to come out with like, you're going to say what you feel and it's going to come out quite well. It's going to be quite clear how you feel. And I feel like you're looking at this like, the way I feel right now, I'm not seeing that go well. So why make something worse? So you're just, I feel like that's one of the reasons you're not communicating here. But I also get your thoughts. You have the Two of Pentacles with the Queen of Cups. I feel like this is the same energy I just said, though. You're trying to balance it out. I feel like you're looking at it like, should I say something? But you're like, you know what? Maybe it's best if I just keep to myself on this one. Maybe I just keep my mouth shut about it because I know how I feel. And I know when I communicate, to me it's no big deal, but people get all upset when I say something because they're like, oh, you yelled at me. And I'm like, I didn't yell. I just told you how I felt. And you know how you feel, and you're just like, I'm not seeing anything really good here right now. I'm seeing like somebody be a jerk, and I want to tell them I'm seeing them be a jerk. So I feel like on your side, you're like, I don't really need to, throw gas on the fire there. I'm not feeling a need for that. On the other side, though, the other side seems to be just trying to ignore the situation. I feel like the Six of Swords is like, they feel like if they just ignore it long enough, it'll go away. Not really sure that's going to be the situation, though. Because I feel like they're just kind of like, when I'm seeing this here, like you see the boat here, but I feel like they're kind of like, they're in a pool, or like in a pond, I should say. They're in a pond, and they're like taking this boat around the pond, but they're going to end up on the shore sooner or later, and like, no matter where they go, they're going to end up dealing with you sooner or later. They're just feeling like they can just ignore it long enough till it goes away. I just don't feel like that's going to be the realistic situation. Because I feel like you're holding to yourself. The other side's trying to ignore it, like it'll just go away. This goes on for a little bit, maybe a few days, a week tops, and then it seems like it does come together. I feel like it's you, though. I feel like you have a moment where you're like, you know what? We both have honest intentions here. We're not getting along. Let's just deal with it. Let's just try to fix this so we can make this go better from here on forward. Because this is how it comes together. I feel like you're the one initiating, and the other side seems to be on point with this. Now, that's how it starts, because it's still lingering on. You're feeling it's just, all right. The other person, I don't feel like you like them that much, but I feel like you're like, they have an honest interest in the situation, so let's try to work it out. And I feel like they're on board to start. But I feel like you were right. It turns into more of an argument. And I feel like both sides are really saying how they feel. And I feel like it comes through very strongly. I feel like both sides are very strong in this situation. And it's just not going that well. I feel like you're trying to work it out, but it causes like some arguments. And I feel like you say exactly how you feel. They're saying how they feel, and it seems like it's a hard time here. But I'm also getting the strength is like you're trying, even though you're upset and you're saying exactly how you feel. You're like, well, I started this conversation for a reason. I plan to make it at least. The reason you started this conversation was to make things better, and I feel like you're holding yourself to that standard. And you're like, all right, the other side doesn't really want to work with me, but what do I need to do to make this situation better? And I feel like you're the one bending here. You have 3 cards here. You have unlikely, forgiveness, and you have communicate clearly. I don't feel like you trust the other side. I feel like you're not really believing this is going to work out. And you're kind of like, you know what, let me at least try. You're just, it's not, when you don't really like them, because I'm feeling that energy here, it's not that you think they're a bad person, you just don't get along with them. But you think that, they have best of intentions, so you're forgiving for that, and you're communicating what you're seeing here. You're not seeing this really work in the long run, but you're just like, I at least have to try. I at least have to try. The unlikely is telling me you don't really believe this is going to actually make things better, but you're holding yourself to, I'm at least going to try. I'm at least going to do what I can. And I feel like you're bending to the other person. You're bending to them as much as you can. And they're seeing this go in their favor, judgment in their favor. But you're the one who's holding yourself to this, because the whole reason you started this conversation was to make things better. And you're just like, you're holding yourself to it. You're like, you know what? If I'm the one who has to bend, then so what? Fine. You're not thinking it's going to really last the test of time anyway. So you're like, you know what? If it works out, that's what I wanted. Great. If it doesn't work out, so what? So what? At least I tried, and I can know I tried. I feel like that's kind of how you're going at it. You're not expecting it to, but you're like, if it works out, great. I would like it to. If it doesn't, at least I know what I tried. The other side is taking this. See, the other side likes that you're bending, and they're taking this as a victory, but I feel like they're not taking it lightly. They're not taking it lightly. And they want this to continue on. I feel like you bending to what they want, it's making an effect. Because not only are they seeing it go to their will, but they feel like they need to honor it now. Because you're bending to what they want, they're not taking that lightly. And they're doing everything in their power to make it work out. They're trying to honor what you're saying. I feel like the attitude I'm getting on this side is like, really? Okay. And the fact that you're doing this, they want this to work out. Because I feel like there's a little give on their side. There is a little give. But for the most part, they're getting what they want. They like this, but they didn't expect you to do this. They did not. So they're trying to hold to it because they want to honor this too. They're feeling like if they make this go the right way, if they hold up the bargain like you're talking this through, if they do their part, in the future maybe things could go better, even better than they are now. Like they're seeing like this is a good step in the right direction. I feel again like even though you don't get along with this person, you're not thinking they're a bad person, you just don't get along with them. And I feel like they might also have the same opinion of you. They don't see a bad person, they just don't get along with you. So the fact that you're doing this means a lot to them, whoever they are. And I'm getting, this is how it ends. the Ace of Cups. You're extremely happy because you weren't really thinking this was going to work out. You did not have, I don't feel like you really had much faith in it, quite frankly. But the fact that it is, you're very happy about that, and you're just like, you know what? This is better than it was. This is definitely better than it was. Let's keep going this way. The other side, on the other hand, is like, you know what? The Leo here, my friend, the Leo I'm dealing with here is doing what they said they were going to do. And they like it. It went their way. So they're like, you know what? They're very happy too. Because you went their way and you're holding up to it. They're extremely happy. So both sides are doing a lot better. I feel like you're honoring the decision and you're both getting along better for that reason. I wouldn't say you're best buddies at this point at all, but you're both like happy with each other, and I feel like this is, again, you're both acknowledging that each side is a good person. At least I feel like that's how you're viewing each other in this reading. You don't get along, you don't really want to hang out with each other, but you seem to be acknowledging that each side is a good person. So it's going well. It's ending well here. Good? Good. I feel like that was a good ending. All right, I'm going to wrap that up here. Thank you for watching. Of course, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.